What up, fellow comic heads? It is I, Comic Head 84, coming through with my top 15 hot covers of 2018. Let's get to the list. Alright, first up, let me just get this book out the way, because I know I own this book, but I cannot find this book. And I just spent all kind of time digging through all my short boxes, and I can't find it. And it has me pretty enraged at the moment, but I'm not going to take it out on you guys. You know, I'm keeping it cool. We're hanging out. I'm showing you the list. It's all good. But inside, I'm burning with rage because I can't find my copy of Heroes in Crisis #2, the variant cover where Batman's getting his back broken. That cover is so dope. So amazing. I love that concept of it being like the file photos of traumatic incidents in these heroes' lives. And dude, so good. So good. There it is. Next up, with actual books I have in my possession. The cover of Amazing Spider-Man Annual by Delato was an amazing cover. I'm not really reading Amazing Spider-Man, but I had to grab this cover when I saw it. I've never seen an image quite like that of Peter Parker like trying to pull off the symbiote, and especially done with a caliber artist like Delato. So hats off to this cover. This one is just amazing. Boom. Next up, I chose the cover of Cursed Comics Cavalcade. And this cover knocks my socks off because I love that it has the old school horror comic vibe. And I also really love the fact that the cover image is, because at first when I saw this cover, I thought it was just some random zombies kind of attacking Batman. But it wasn't until I got it home and I was really holding it in my hands that I saw that grave says Wayne on it. And that is Thomas and Martha Wayne, zombies risen from the dead attacking Batman, on the cover of a horror-themed book, like pre-code horror style book. Those things together is an amazing combination, and I love this cover. I wasn't really thrilled about the inside of this book. I don't think it was executed very well, but that cover indeed was. So, Cursed Comics Cavalcade makes the list. I guess number 13, but again, we're not doing that. Next up, and I don't know, these might not be your favorite covers, but I chose this. I chose Amazing Spider-Man 12, the Mark Bagley versus Conan variant cover, right? And by the way, there are some variants in here, and part of me almost felt like it's not fair to pick variants, and I should have just chose like 8 covers or something, but what are you going to do? I'm just calling it the top covers that I bought this year. I consider this like a throwback to the old school style of comic book covers, where nowadays we get like a big sexy image on the cover by like a top tier artist, and it's like a smoke show type of cover, right? But gone are the days where the cover art looked pretty close to, if not exactly the same as the interior art, and they set up a scenario for you, and usually they included like some word balloons, on some dialogue on the cover, which I wish this one did. Some dialogue balloons on the cover. They set up a little scenario on there to suck you in, to make you look at that cover and say, shit, I want to see what's going to happen inside of that book. It was a trick that was done a lot in Silver Age books and some Bronze Age books that really doesn't happen anymore. And it would do the job of like a commercial or a teaser. You see a little teaser, I wonder what happens next. So this cover did that for me, where I looked at this cover and I saw, shit, we have Conan in the middle of New York City, modern day New York City, with black suit Spider-Man lunging from behind. When I looked at that image, I said, I need to know what happens in that story. I need to see what happens with Conan stuck in Manhattan with black suit Spidey coming after him. Now, the reason why this book isn't like the top pick or something is that doesn't happen inside. It's totally unrelated to the inside of the book, so it may cancel out my point. But if the inside contents of this book was this story, that image would get me totally sucked into it. And I just wanted to give it a shout out because that style of covers isn't really done anymore, you know. So that's why I chose this variant of Amazing Spider-Man 12. Batgirl, what issue is this? 28. Batgirl 28. There were a lot of Batgirl covers that were very hot this year, very popular this year. Middleton has obviously been on a tear, killing it with his Batgirl covers. And I suppose you could take your pick of which one was your favorite. I personally don't own that many of them, and I'm not like a huge fan of the Batgirl covers from Middleton, but this one really spoke to me because there was something about this scene of seeing Barbara Gordon at a computer doing her Oracle thing. I thought was a nice touch. This clock here in the background made me feel like she was like in some kind of cool base, maybe, I don't think Batcave, but in like a cool clock tower base. So that right there, that clock that he set to the corner of this piece as like a light source, and it just painted a picture for me of where she was and her, you know, doing her computer thing. Really got me. This cover did it for me. It's set an atmosphere and a setting for me, where a lot of the other ones don't, you know. And I like this version of Batgirl because that's something that I kind of deduct as points from Middleton covers. In one breath, I like that Middleton is very versatile. A lot of, you know, the major cover artists that we enjoy, they have a pretty similar style. When you see their cover, you're like, I know that's their cover. Middleton doesn't really have that. He's really kind of all over the place, but versatile, which is a good thing. But it concerns me when it comes to these Batgirl covers because I can't help but think that they all look so different, and it's a totally different girl every time. So I can't help but think that he's just using a different photo reference for each cover, and that's why they look so different, and it takes some of the magic away from Middleton. But anyway, boom, that one. That was my favorite Batgirl cover. Next up is Die number 1. Man, that cover's amazing. This is the B cover. This was the one that I happened to pick. If I had the A cover, I probably would have picked that one too. I think I might be partial to this cover a little bit based on how much I just loved the comic. It's been a long time since one issue of a comic has me so hyped and convinced that I'm going to follow this book for many issues to come. Very impressed with this book. So that might be affecting it a little bit. But this cover's dope. I mean, once you see that the unfolded Die across the cover, like, and how that ties into what the story's about, and the fact that it's called Die, and the fact that outside of the Die image is her normal self, and inside the Die image is her game badass self. It's like, it's just amazing. It's just killing it on so many levels, and Had to make the list. Another guy that I kind of just felt obligated to make the list is Mattina. I had to represent Mattina. So it was a matter of choosing which Mattina cover it was going to be. And I went with this one. What issue is it? Deathstroke 37. Deathstroke 37. I have never seen a Two-Face image like that before. That might be the dopest Two-Face image that I've seen. Really well done. I love the symmetry of this thing. Symmetry on a comic book cover goes a long way for me, and there'll be another really good example of it in my list a bit in a second. But the way he just laid out Two-Face in the middle of the cover with Deathstroke's mask splitting in the same spot that Two-Face's scar does was just like, how dope symmetry is that? I mean, awesome. I love it. My only critique on Mattina covers is that they're just really dark. I wish he would like bump up the brightness a little bit, because there are some covers where it's like at a distance I wouldn't know what the hell I'm looking at, and I have to get really close to appreciate a Mattina cover. But that's fine, because I usually cuddle with it like this at bed at night anyway, so I'm usually really close to it, so it's perfect for me to appreciate it. Next up, left field pick, but still a fire cover nonetheless. One of my favorites was Edgar Allan Poe, Snifter of Terror, #2 from Ahoy Comics. Unbelievable. When I saw this cover, stop the presses. That was amazing. The art execution itself is stellar. The way it's rendered, the detail is incredible. The fact that the concept of this cover is Edgar Allan Poe in homage to the 50-foot woman from the 1950s B movie in a pair of tighty-whitey underwears, still being able to gracefully hold a glass of wine. He's presumably drunk, smashing up the highway. I mean, what? Unbelievable. One of the best covers I've seen. And if you're not picking this up, because I'm not sure if many shops carry this thing, I asked my shop to order me Snifter of Terror. Please do. Ahoy Comics. I know it's a smaller publisher, but all the covers are really good like this. An upcoming one, it's each one is like an homage to a different either old school cult movie or horror movie. He has like a Jaws homage coming up. There's a Psycho coming up where Edgar Allan Poe is naked in a shower screaming with a knife coming at him. It's like unbelievable stuff. You gotta follow it. Next up, Yasmin Putri had to make the list for me. And of all of Putri's work, this is the one that really knocked me out when I first saw it. Red Hood, number 27. Sorry, guys. I just love it. I don't want this video to run too long, so maybe I'll pick up the pace. This is one of the first times that I saw his new costume design, which I really liked. So that really took me aback. Holding the crowbar. And the one trick that I like that Yasmin Putri seems to do is she'll usually choose like one element of the piece. In this case, the red bandages. And she'll do like these little ink splatters with it. You know, these little ink splatters that are coming off of the bandages, where everything else in the image is solid, but she'll choose one thing to accentuate and do like a splattered paint look. And she does that in a lot of her pieces if you look at it. And I very much appreciate it. And it's hot fire. Next up, Battle Lines. I really love the Battle Line covers that came out. Once I found out there was all like basically a marketing ploy to push you towards a game app called Battle Lines, you know, it hurt me a little bit, but I still appreciated the covers nonetheless. And of all those Battle Line covers, this Ghost Rider image killed it. I mean, do I even need to say anything else? Ghost Rider. Virgin cover. Masterpiece. Ba-bow. Beautiful. Let's see. Are we at the top 5 yet? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's top 5 time, guys. It's top 5. And these might actually be ranked top 5. So these top 5 are ranked in order. Alright, we're going to get down to the hottest cover of the year. For number 5 for me was the ArtGerm. You know, ArtGerm had to make the list. And for me, he made the list with this issue of Catwoman. The photorealism, the design of it. It's like an art piece. It's like something that I could frame and hang on the wall, and you know, a bunch of fancy art critics would eat wine and cheese and like applaud how beautiful it is, because it's like some fine art goodness. I love it. I can't get enough of it. But you guys have seen this cover a ton, and people have probably gushed over it a bunch, so I'm just going to leave it at that. You know what time it is. You know why they had to make the list. ArtGerm, Catwoman, ba-bow. Coming in at number 4 of 2018, one of my favorite artists goes by the name of Jay Lee. And Jay Lee produced this in 2018. And this variant, I think this was like a 1 in 25 variant. So I don't know if that's cheating, but this cover of Elektra on this Marvel Knights.
I couldn't find any enabled video skills that...
Shut up, Alexa! You butt out of this!
Sorry, I don't know that one.
Rude. Stop. This cover blew me away when I saw it. I mentioned symmetry earlier, and that's like what really knocks this piece out. That pose, the symmetry of those gargoyles with her hands behind her back, crossing the sides like that, the snowy background, like, dude, incredible. I wish that there was a virgin cover of this thing. I'll pay you big money, Marvel, whatever. Jay Lee, let's me and you work something out. I need a virgin cover of this, man. Number 3. Number 3 is one of the best Spider-Man images I've ever seen in my life. And for that reason, it's made the list. And this was one of the 89 variants of Spider-Man 800. But nonetheless, Lee In-hyuk produced this cover of Spider-Man 800. And I've never seen anything like it. This image of Spider-Man swinging through the city with the symbiote in the process of taking over his body while he's swinging like a badass. And it's rendered like a boss in the dynamic movement of him swinging through the city. It's unbelievable. The webbing in the forefront. Holy smokes. Next. Galactus. 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 Beautiful cover. Adi Granov. Blew my mind when this came out. It was like a Christmas year-end, ba-bow, Christmas present for me. Similar theme, like with that Elektra cover. Give me a virgin variant, please. Fuck off, Fantastic Four week. Even fuck off Spider-Man, honestly. But that wouldn't even have been that bad if this was gone. And even this was gone. I wish Marvel would just do the DC style and just put that all across the bottom in text. But boom. Boom. Sorry, these My Lights are tough to display books. Okay, ready. Top cover of the year. I know this video's running long, like 20 minutes. You guys have probably been tick, 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 fast forwarding through it to get to the covers. I don't blame you. I get it. I can... When it comes to comics, I can yap a lot. If you did, you missed some good comic head content, by the way. Alexa butted in earlier. All that good shit. But my number one cover. I had to take it out of the My Light so you could see its glory. It's Detective Comics number 994, which is probably not anyone else's hottest cover. Probably not on anyone else's list, I'd imagine. I didn't see it. But this, for me, was the dopest cover that I saw all year. I'm a big fan of Mark Brooks. This imagery did it for me. It's a scene that we're all familiar with, the murder of Bruce Wayne's parents, and just the way that he laid this out with Batman reflection in the pool of blood beneath Bruce Wayne. The color palette used, everything. Thomas Wayne's bloody hand right here. The pearls. I mean, I've seen this story told many times, but I have never seen that moment of Batman history drawn and executed like that before. And when I saw it, it knocked me out. I love it. I took note. It's my cover of the year, 2018. That's it. Thank you for hanging out. I'll catch you next time. Peace.